At the law of cosines, the second case of side, side, side. That's where you know all three sides but none of the angles. First, let's review what the law of cosines said. There were three different forms, but really they're all the same. It's just that one side squared is equal to the sum of the other two sides squared minus 2 times those two sides multiplied together times the cosine of the angle opposite this side that we have out here. So that would be C. The other form would be a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2 times b times c times the cosine of angle A, or b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2 times a times c times the cosine of angle B. So let's look at an example and see what we have to do to solve a triangle with side, side, side. So let's say we had a triangle ABC, and I told you that this side was 6, and this side was 7, and this side was 9. So obviously we have a choice of which angle. We have to solve for one of these angles. We have a choice of which one to solve for. First thing to check always is to make sure that it really is a triangle to begin with. If you remember from geometry, that if you add together to two smallest sides, they have to add up to more than the largest side. If they don't, it's not a triangle and no triangle would exist. So 6 plus 7 is 13. 13 is bigger than 9, so this is a triangle. Always check that first. Now, in using the law of cosines, we can actually find an obtuse angle if the triangle has one. The law of sines will not give that to you, but the law of cosines does. So we're going to try to solve for the largest angle. Remember that the longest side, the angle opposite that, is the largest angle. So the largest angle in this triangle is going to be angle B. That's the one we want to solve for first. So this is side B, this is side A, and this is side C. Remember, it's labeled opposite the angle. So I'm going to use this form right here. So I know that 9 squared equals 6 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 6 times 7 times the cosine of angle B. And now what I have to do is think about this just as if it was a variable. I want to solve this equation and get that by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and work these out. 9 squared is 81, 6 squared is 36 plus 49, minus 2 times 6 is 12, times 7 is 84, times the cosine of angle B. We want to get this by itself again, so I'm going to minus 36 and minus 49. So minus 36 and minus 49. And if you do that, we end up, those cancel out. We end up over here getting, let's see, 36 and 49 is 85. So this ends up negative 4 equals negative 84 times the cosine of angle B. Divide by negative 84. So the cosine of B is equal to 4 over 84, which if we do that on our calculator, 4 divided by 84, we get 0.0476. Now what we want to do to solve for the angle is do the inverse cosine of this. Inverse cosine of 0.0476 is equal to angle B. So I'm just going to use the answer that I have on my calculator. I'm going to go second cosine of my answer. So again, that's right down here above the negative sign. So I'm just going to go second answer. And so angle B is 87.3 degrees. That's the largest angle, so there is no obtuse angle in this triangle. So in solving it, we're finding the three sides and the three angles. And we were given that A was 7, B is 9, and C is 6. We now have found that angle B is 87.3 degrees. Because we know an angle and the side opposite it, we can use the law of sines now. In this case, because we picked the biggest angle, we can be guaranteed there is no obtuse angle, so it doesn't matter which order I solve those for. So I'm just going to set it up. The sine of 87.3 over 9 equals the sine of angle A over 7. Solve this for A, so I'm going to go 7 times the sine of 87.3 divided by 9 is equal to the sine of angle A. To find what angle A is, we do the inverse sine of this. So inverse sine of 7 sine of 87.3 degrees divided by 9 has to be what angle A equals. So now you put that in your calculator. Inverse sine of, I'm going to make a fraction, alpha y equals, and choose number 1, 7 sine of 87.3. In the denominator we have 9, and we hit enter, and we get that angle A is equal to 51.0 if we round it off. So angle A is 51.0 degrees. Now we know that the three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So we're going to do 180 minus 51.0 plus 87.3. So I'm just subtracting those two things from it, and I get 41.7. So angle C is 41.7 degrees, and now we have solved the triangle. The most important thing is with side, 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 make sure you solve for the largest angle first. And that concludes the explanation. If you need help, please let me know.